All right, we're at a couple minutes after 11. I think we'll get started. Again, welcome and thank you for joining us. Keep those questions coming in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end. The topic today is unlocking savings on VMware support. Your alternative guides. We've got some interesting options we'll share with you on how to deal with the changes in VMware support. We have two speakers today. Oops, got a little ahead of myself. First is Adam Barlow, Director of Technical Support. And second is Frank Warren, Vice President of Sales. I'll turn it over to Adam here shortly. We do have a couple of polls that'll come up, so watch out for those and please participate. And again, keep the questions coming. We'll address as many as we can at the end of the session. With that, I'll hand it over to Adam. Adam, you go ahead and grab control of the screen, and I'll turn my camera off so I'm not a distraction.
Okay, thanks, Larry. Okay, so following Broadcom's acquisition of VMware, there's been a few changes. So what has changed? Really, there's two, maybe three changes that we're going to talk about here. As you can see on the screen, VMware have gone from perpetual licenses moving to the subscription model. So if you've got a perpetual license and an SNS, a contract which is part of that perpetual license, you are now going to be at renewal migrated onto a subscription model. So what does that mean? You've got they'll have to pay monthly to use your license, be entitled to any kind of updates, and also access their VMware's technical support team. Additional to that, the way those licenses are going to be priced has changed. Going from the quite simple CPU/socket based pricing. So how many CPUs have you got in a host? That's how the workings out was priced and calculated. Going from that, which was quite an easy method to work out, to the core-based pricing, which equally is easy to work out, but with one actual caveat. There's a minimum of 16 cores per CPU. So if you've got X amount of hosts, 50 hosts running 8 socket CPUs, your price is going to be going up quite a bit, because you're going from 8 cores to the bare minimum of 16 cores. So what we've done here, we've just taken a few snips from around on the internet to see how this is impacting various customers. And as you can see, there's lots of Reddit posts there, but we've got just a bit of a snapshot. So as you can see, the prices we're looking at going up 2x, 3x, all the way up to 9, 10x, which is a little bit of a nightmare for everyone's procurement and budgeting costs. And alongside that, we've got a lot of posts saying that VMware support anyway has gone downhill. Back end of last year and following the acquisition from Broadcom. The latest one we've got there is 2 days ago. Broadcom support, an absolute horror show. I think that example was citing that you've got a Sev1 that somebody logged host down, and which was very critical to a customer, and that severity got downgraded without anybody asking the customer. So yeah, they were not very happy there. And then we've got this slide as well. This is just highlighting that VMware apparently are now going to be looking to outsource their technical support team, the L1 and L2 teams. So that may be something just to be aware of going forward. So what does this mean? So the bottom line, as you can see here, 2023 Forrester study predicts that 20% of the VMware clients will move away from the VMware stack due to concerns around price increases, limited customer support, and the mandatory requirement for subscription to software bundles. And that kind of plays into what we've just seen on the previous slide, where various customers are going on about price increases, support going downhill, and also being forced to go onto the software, the subscription model rather than you've got a perpetual license. Customers have purchased that perpetual license in the hope and agreement that that's going to be forever. So yeah, not very happy about that. So what are the options for VMware customers at the minute? So obviously you could stay with VMware and pay the extra amount of money and maybe see what the support is. If that depends on if you want to go move to version 9, you're going to have to do that anyway, because that is you're no longer going to be able to have a perpetual license after version 8. But yeah, this is mainly what are the options for version 8 customers where you're sitting on the fence and you don't know what to do. You could look to move over to another hypervisor. This is long-term plans, obviously. Proxmox, Hyper-V, or people are looking at those. Along with that, a lot of people are exploring the hyper-converged infrastructure route. So you've got Nutanix running Acropolis, could also run Hyper-V. A lot of people are weighing that up. Or alternatively, you could be looking to shift your workload back up into the cloud, which could be an expensive thing. But yeah, that needs to be looked at and thought through long term. So you've got the AWS and Azure options or any kind of cloud provider there. Or alternatively, and this is what Frank's going to talk to you about in a bit, is find an alternative VMware support option. One thing to note, and you guys may have seen this already, but it's just something to talk about if you are going to stay with, look to move away from VMware and look for an alternative partner, is that this statement that came out from Hock Tan this month, I think it was. So if we just read it verbatim, we're announcing free access to zero-day security patches for supported versions of vSphere. And they're looking to add other VMware products over time. So if you've already got version 7 and versions 8, which are currently in support with VMware, you will get access to zero-day security patches. Now, I know that has been a little bit of a relief to lots of our customers, because that was the major worry when the Broadcom acquisition went ahead in this year, really. What was going to happen with zero-day patching? Is it going to be stuck behind a paywall? Nobody knew, but luckily Broadcom have responded to this and come out with this statement. So a little bit of relief for VMware customers at the minute. And with that, I'll hand you back over to Larry. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. And thanks everybody for the questions that are rolling in. We'll get to those shortly. But we wanted to do is just take a quick minute and launch our first poll. So you'll see that come up now, and really want to just know, at this point in time, and I know you're probably here to try to figure out what your path forward is, but are you thinking you're likely going to migrate off of VMware? Do you think you're going to try and find an alternative support option? You're not sure what you're going to do yet? Hit the poll and let us know what you plan to do. And boy, Frank, a lot of comments about pricing increases. I saw 400%. I think a couple people said that. A lot of people not sure yet, but they're anticipating some sticker shock. So I'm sure that's probably consistent with what you're hearing. 450%. We have a winner. It's like an auction.
Yeah.
That's the highest so far. And at least the early results from the poll, 72 responses, fantastic. 61% not sure. 26% looking for an alternative support option. 12% are saying they're likely to migrate off of VMware. So pretty interesting. Frank, any comments on that? And
Yeah.
I'll hand it off to you to move the presentation forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, my comments would be this is nothing abnormal from what we've been seeing. A lot of different, I saw a comment there, both A and B, most likely migrating off VMware and wants to find an alternative solution in the meantime. So
Yeah.
the good news is I have the opportunity and the pleasure to walk you through some of those options and how we can help. Most importantly and particularly, we can help the benefits you'll see with how we can help are going to be reducing that cost, adding some flexibility for you, and then leveraging our existing VMware experts to help that solution that best fits your organization. So that's what you can expect to hear over the next couple minutes. I promise to keep it to engage and not bore you too much, but I'm really excited about what we're able to offer and how we can help this challenge the market's given us here today. So let's get into it. So our VMware services. So we're going to be able to break up our VMware services into multiple different categories. So and then over the next couple minutes, you'll hear me talk about our technical support capabilities, our managed services, our hardware aspect, and professional services. So we kind of frame our offering into 4 different buckets. All can be customizable, mixed and matched based on your environment and what you're experiencing today. So let's first start with our VMware technical support. So we've been doing VMware technical support for a long time now, all the way back to 3.5. And as Adam mentioned, and we're all experiencing, the need for our VMware technical support is coming from a cost-effective and relief standpoint. You know, we've seen price increases anywhere between double all the way up to 9x of what their costs were. There's been in some chats 450% as to what you're used to paying, which is crazy. And it seems to also be happening in some smaller organizations as well, some school districts. And I think it just all depends. I'm not sure what the strategy has been there in terms of what the measurement of that price increase has been, but a lot of companies have been impacted tremendously by that price increase. So here's how we price it. So we model the old VMware SNS program. So our pricing from a Park Place technical support standpoint comes from the socket or CPU count, because that's how VMware did it, the number of vCenters that you have, and any advanced features such as vSAN, NSX, Site Recovery Manager, VDI, Horizon at all. And the good news is, just to give you an idea, so we traditionally and historically have been anywhere between 30 and 40% less than what VMware charged historically. Now, add the Broadcom price increase to it, and we've been a very, very attractive offer for that short term, or that area of, I just don't know what to do. I need some help, and I can't pay this price increase that's being passed along to it. So many of you out there are probably thinking to yourself, that's great. How are you going to do that? And I would say to you, that's a great question. So we have, this is how it's done. We have level 3 engineers directly from VMware with the highest, they hold the highest certifications. We've recruited them. We brought them along on Adam's team. So we're talking about VCDX, VCAPs, VCPs, VCAs, and it's those level 3 type capabilities and individuals on our team that will work in tandem with your team to be able to remediate those issues. Any how-to questions, troubleshoot, diagnose, and address those problems that come up when they come up. And in terms of our SLA and response capabilities, it's broken up into the same SLAs that you're used to. So SEV1 business critical, that's a 30-minute response. So and in that 30 minutes, that 30-minute window is us being engaged with you and your team to fix the problem. And then it progresses from there. SEV1, 4 hours, and then it goes to 8, 12, so on. The best part about this is that you as the customer are able to dictate that. So we don't run you through the ringer of the basic qualification steps. And if you have a business severity critical issue and you say, I need some help, you have the ability to escalate that through opening up a ticket and dictating that severity level that you so choose. And you can do that in multiple different ways. So if you're a Park Place customer, you're familiar with calling in the 24/7, 365 contact center that we have available to you, and also our customer portal that's available to you via the web or right on your phone access as well. So very convenient ways for you to call in, and you can dictate that severity level as incidents occur. So that's a high level on our technical support. So again, you're probably weighing the options. Do I go Proxmox, Oracle KVM, Hyper-V? Do I go back to bare metal servers? The best part about this VMware technical support option is we give you that flexibility to be able to make that decision while still getting support. So for example, if you need to have a couple months of coverage, we could provide that to you. You're able to drop individual ESXi hosts off of the agreement with a 30-day notice, and we never lock you in. So I'd rest assured that there's never a time where you need to feel, man, I just should roll the dice. Let's go unexposed because I'm not sure what to do. You can have Park Place step in the meantime while you develop that strategy. So that's our primary VMware technical support option that we have for you. Next is what you're gonna find our VMware managed services offering. So within the managed services, it's going to be a few different things we can do. Primarily, we're going to help you monitor, remediate, and all the way up to completely managing your VMware environment. However, we can customize that however best to what your needs are. So, for example, we can do as little as help you identify that you have a VMware issue. And within that VMware issue, we can notify you of the problem and escalate that on your behalf. Then we could take a step further. We can identify that problem and provide that remediation should you need to, all the way up to, listen, this environment's something that we don't want to manage. We need somebody to manage it for us. We can become an extension of your team and provide that to you. And we could do things to be proactive, provide problem management, such as, if you got continuous disk-based issues, and you need to help remediate, we could provide that recommendation to improve that performance, maybe expand the VMs, do all of that work on your behalf. Most importantly here, I think this will be beneficial for you. I'm going to tell you just a couple different customer stories of how our clients are using us in this capacity. So a Fortune 500 client has made the decision to move away from VMware, and they're going to go to Nutanix. So in the meantime, as they're doing that, they've asked Park Place to step up and actually run their VMware environment. That way they can focus all of their resources onto learning Nutanix, and they don't have to worry about the day-to-day, knowing VMware is not going to be the solution that they stay with, and they're going to migrate off. So they've elected to have Park Place assist in that capacity. Another big one has been patching, just overall staying compliant with their VMware environment, patch management. We can help maintain compliance. We can help structure it with governance, plan it, deploy it, do all of that work. That sometimes is a tedious task, or in some situations could be delayed for whatever reason, or something that they want to offload. So customers lean on us for that. And lastly, clients that have limited resources or little to no expertise, that's when they call Park Place. They're not sure what a VMware environment, how it works, how it operates. They take over something that was a strategy prior to them. They need expertise help. That's where we can deploy our expertise that we have on staff as Park Place employees to help do that. Or simply they're running lean. They don't have a lot of opportunity to do what the business needs and work on the business projects because they're stuck running the day-to-day. So we've been able to step in and assist in that capacity as well. So the depth of our resources and the flexibility of our managed services covers almost all of the challenges that our clients face. So our ability to be able to customize that has been really helpful for our customers. So that is the VMware Managed Services section. And finally, we've grouped the last two together. So our hardware services and professional services. So I'm going to start with the hardware. It's pretty straightforward. So we can help you just optimize your environment or right size your hardware. So we've found that our customers have been over provisioned or under provisioned. Adam talked about the CPU count and what that impact is, going from having 8 cores and being charged 16. We can help you right size that to, 1, lessen your physical footprint, or 2, make sure you're actually being charged for the amount from a subscription standpoint from the amount that you have. So that said, we do that by just pulling the RV tools, providing an assessment of your environment. We can take a look, provide recommendations on what could help you mitigate and reduce some of those costs. And by doing so, that could take are professional services. So then we can step up and provide you with some ITAD work. So we could do the replacement, we could do the minor project, or we can do the major project all the way through the migration. Should you migrate to Nutanix or Hyper-V, Park Place can help with that transition and that migration as you move away from VMware. So whether it's a minor project or a major project, we're a good alternative to help, one, reduce that subscription cost should you need to, right size your environment, but two, we can also help with delivering the major projects of that transition from VMware to wherever you might be going. So that is a quick summary and synopsis as best as possible and as I could to make sure I didn't bore you too much, but that is the overview of Park Place's services and how we'd be able to help. Just a quick summary. So we can, with this market shift, and this is time where everybody's really forced to reevaluate their strategy. They're forced to receive these price increases that frankly people can't and companies can't afford. So our cost savings and flexibility coupled with our expertise gives you that extended time, or as we like to call it, a deep breath or an exhale while you make those decisions internally. So that way you can set your organization up for success. So should you have, there's a lot of different companies in a lot of different positions and situations. Should you have some particular needs and want to talk or learn more or dive deeper, I'm happy to jump on and have those conversations along with Adam. We're here to help and to brainstorm and help you out of this situation. So thank you for your time. And Larry, I'll kick it back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Boy, the questions are rolling in, so we will get right to those. But we have one last poll that we're going to throw up on the screen now. Basically just, after hearing the different options, and you can select more than one here if you want, but just curious to know what's resonating with folks, what they think might be most helpful to them. So we'll let that run for a bit while we address a couple questions. And this one is actually a comment, but I think it's worth putting out there. Somebody out there said they were pushed to VAR support and not a VAR of our choice. Frank and Adam, is that? I imagine that's not a unique situation.
It's not, and that's coupled with from the announcement that they made recently to their clients that they're going to be leveraging other support providers. They're not hiding it. They're not pretending that they have the experts and they're going to be able to have firsthand experience with that. So they are leaning on some other VARs and partners to provide this work for them. So that is a strategy that they've adopted, and unfortunately, that's going to be more common than not.
Yeah.
Excellent. You have something to add there, Adam? No?
Yeah, just exactly what Frank said, really. There's been a lot of talent leaving VMware over the last year, 18 months. There's that's no secret. So I think that VMware Broadcom have got no choice, had no choice to try and leverage different VARs to provide the support. Now, what does that mean? It means that you're ultimately going to get a third-party support team carrying out the work anyway. So it's just something to take note of. Even if you've got an active SNS contract or you're looking to move on to the subscription model, you may not be getting a VMware actual engineer working on your environment.
Excellent. All right, so some early returns on the poll here. 54% are saying technical support, 9% managed services, 12% professional services, 9% optimizing memory CPU utilization, 14% not sure. And we got a one, none of the above, get entitlement to patches and upgrades. I don't know if we want to speak to that at all.
Yeah, I'll just jump in. So obviously the big thing top of mind will be, the software and how's that taken care of? How's that going to work? So I'll break it down in two categories. First being the security component, and the second category would be minor and major upgrades. So from the security standpoint, they're still made publicly available to you. So Adam walked you through that with that announcement from the CEO from Broadcom. And quite frankly, that's consistent with what we're hearing and seeing in the industry. So Microsoft does the same thing for Hyper-V. Oracle does the same thing for KVM. And all the different tier one hardware vendors do it for their hardware as well. Reason being, fact of the matter is they don't want the bad press out there. The last thing that they want is their assets or their technology to be exposed from a security standpoint. So from a security side, that will be taken care of, and that will be publicly available. Now, in terms of the minor and major upgrades, let's say you're on version 7 and you want to get to version 8. Now, our recommendation would be to download download the licenses that you have and upgrade your license keys to version 8. You don't have to go to version 8 right now, but you updating those license keys makes us eligible to be able to assist you with applying 8 in the future should you need to. So that's available to you. Now, let's say, future state version 9 comes out, and I don't have a crystal ball, but if I did have a crystal ball, I would say version 9 we're probably looking about 2027 before version 9 comes out, because that's coinciding with the end of life of the legacy version 7, and that's what they've done historically. So let's call it 2027. At that point in time, you would not have access to 9 because it's a major version upgrade. And so you wouldn't have entitlement. But at that time, at least it's bought you some time to figure out your strategy, what you'd like to do. And if you choose to stay with VMware and make that decision, then you go ahead on with the subscription model that VMware is offering today. But that's at a high level how we handle the software component of it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're telling all of our customers, to try and get to the latest and greatest that they can, i.e. try and get to version 8 and with the latest patch. And then, you're going to get access to the security 0-day security patches if they come out. And like Frank says, that we don't know, we can't comment 100%, but that, well, at least it will get you to the latest version. Like, so you'll just be running until 9 comes out. So hopefully that gets you as secure and updated as you can possibly can.
Excellent, thank you. Another question, is the migration assistance included in the technical support option?
No, it's not. That would be one of our professional services engagements that Frank talked about earlier. I don't know, Frank, if you want to elaborate on that.
Sure. Yeah. So depends on how we structure it. So it would be that's where we could talk about creating a custom solution for you. We could have the technical support aspect of it, which is ongoing. That's going to be more of a continuous support service that we offer. And we could couple that with the project, which would be the migration. So we can structure it in a way where it's all right in front of you, one scope of work. That's no problem. But they would be 2 separate engagements.
Yes, the way we're positioning these offerings is VMware technical support is for organizations and companies that have got an on-prem VMware IT department, and it's almost a like for like of what the OEM VMware are offering. L3, L4 SMEs, escalation paths for critical issues or any kind of issues that your team has exhausted. Now, the managed services offerings that we do are more aligned for if you've got resource contention and not necessarily, you may not even have a VMware team. We'll be doing the administration, the support, the management of the whole environment there. And then professional services, that's just the migration away from VMware.
Excellent, thank you. The question is VMware support new to Park Place?
No, it's not. No. The technical support offering is new because it was created for a reaction from Broadcom's acquisition of VMware, but we've been supporting VMware as managed services for almost its inception, really. For as long as I've been at Park Place, I think we've been supporting customers from, I think, maybe even 3.5, 4, definitely 5, and all the way up now to version 8. So no, definitely not new.
All right, this is a little bit of a longer question, so bear with me. What if a support issue requires an update or fix in the software? Would you then initiate the communication with Broadcom to get a fix implemented? For us, the largest portion of the price increase isn't from the support, it's from the new core licensing models.
Yeah, I can break that down. So the first part of the question, no, we wouldn't engage with Broadcom because essentially we are Broadcom support, but we will not have access to patches because you've moved away from the subscription model, or you've lost SNS, so that has removed your access to non-critical patches. And then the second part of that question, well, more of a statement. Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. The price increase is a shock value to a lot of companies, and that's what's pushing moving people away, because we have customers that are quite happy that they were running on their perpetual licenses because they've got legacy hardware, for example. But now being forced away from that and having to pay per core when they may even have like 8 cores or less, it's just crazy. It's a complete it's a complete shock to a lot of companies, to be honest with you.
All right,
Frank, I don't
Oh,
know if you've got any more on that, Frank.
No, I don't. They nailed it.
All right, I am on 7 and want to download V8 and the licenses. Will updating the license to V8 still allow my V7 to run?
Yeah, so the license keys. So when we talk about downloading the license keys of version 8, that will still allow you to run 7 and make you eligible, if you will, to download 8 and apply 8 should you have it. So yes, you'll be able to run 7 smoothly while downloading the keys for 8.
Excellent. Question, where are our engineers located?
Okay, so we offer a fully global 24/7 follow the sun support model. So we have engineers all around the world. So if a ticket's coming in, mostly you'll be getting an engineer who's in seat, ready to go, and if not, it would be the on-call engineer. But yeah, all around the world, ready to support you.
All right. If we engaged Park Place for support now and come 2027, we want to go to version 9, would Broadcom want us to pay for lapsed support? Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Perhaps, yeah, I don't know. You'd have to have a look or speak to your VMware/Broadcom rep. I've seen mixed reports, to be honest with you. But if it's like any OEM, then yes, potentially you would have to pay for a re-additional fee. I don't know, Frank, if you've got any more.
Yeah, we've had a couple of these instances, and we've actually heard from customers that they will not be charging reinstatement fees. So I think it does depend on the environment, the situation, what you have going on. But I have heard instances on the flip side to where they actually are not charging reinstatement fees because, quite frankly, your strategy could be to move completely away from them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
and it's quite easy to advertise that they will charge you, almost like a scare factor. But when you're looking, obviously, to spend some more money with VMware and go over to version 9, then that's just a sales negotiation conversation, isn't it, with yourselves and Broadcom?
All right. Eugene, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip your question. If you could put that back in the chat, we'll address it. While you do that, another question, would Park Place accept it if we ask for technical support service on the legacy version?
Yes, so we'll support.
Yeah,
So we'll support the legacy version of what you have. So if that's 6.5, whatever you might be running, we can absolutely provide support on that for you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like obviously, as I was saying, the engineers, some of the engineers have been working on VMware since its inception. So yeah, it doesn't really matter what version it is. I think that we kind of have a cutoff of version 5 of what we'll go back to. But yeah, most legacy versions we will support.
All right, I got Eugene's question now. We are looking to purchase VMC on AWS or Azure, but through a reseller, so we go to a VAR for support and not directly to Broadcom. Is that a question or a statement? I'm not sure. We were looking to purchase VMC on AWS or Azure, but through a reseller. I don't know if that's
Yeah, I think it's more of a statement just to highlight that now VMware are leveraging different VARs.
Okay. Oh, do you resell VMC?
No. Yeah, I just saw we do not.
Okay. With V8 licenses on hand, how to download binaries in the future once VMware support expires?
This is what Frank was saying previously. So we're suggesting to a lot of customers, well, all the customers, to if you've got entitlement, download it now. Download the ISOs, download the license keys whilst you're entitlement, because once that entitlement lapses, then you will no longer be able to download them.
Correct.
Another question, I don't know if this is a question for the audience or for us. Is anyone else looking into the ECS option with Broadcom to reduce renewal costs? It is cheaper than VVC or VCF.
Yeah, I think that's a question to
that's a question for the community there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's all the questions, unless I missed any other ones. Thanks again for and if we did miss it, we'll respond, to you. And if you have questions after the fact, one more came in from Brent. How long do you think 7 will be supported with security patches?
Looking at this the other day, hang on, let me just fire something up.
I'd probably have to say venture the guess until they end of life it, right, Adam? Wouldn't you say so? Until they take it end of life and they're no longer supporting it, they'll probably have eligible security patches released, right?
So let me see. So at the moment, you were looking at version 7 ends in 9 months' time. So 2nd of April 2025. That's when it drops off general support. You can go onto their technical support, and then that lasts a little bit longer, but you only get access to security patches then anyway. I think recently we saw a major vulnerability come out for version 6 that needed to the gap needed to be plugged. USB devices on a virtual machine, and they released an update for version 6 or 6.5, maybe 6.7. I need to check for customers with technical support, and then the technical support normally gives you like an extra 2 years on top of that. That's with VMware technical support. But yeah, it's until it's end of support, basically. Frank's answer was probably the quicker answer.
Right, there's actually, I think, one more here. I don't think we addressed this one. If your support on the perpetual licenses has expired, can you still upgrade to version 8?
That would depend on if you have it downloaded prior to that perpetual licensing being expired. So if you have it downloaded, I believe we could still help you implement it and upgrade it. But I'm not sure, Adam, if you want to add onto that.
Yeah, I think that sounds like your SNS, the customers. Mary's SNS has expired. So if your SNS has expired, I don't think you don't have access to the VMware license portal. So therefore, you won't be able to download it. So I don't think you can, unfortunately. So yeah, if your SNS has expired, I don't think you can. Because then you're ultimately running on the perpetual license without support anyway, I believe, Mary.
All right. I think that's everything. I want to let people go. I don't want to keep you here all day. Really appreciate you attending, all the engagement. Thanks for answering the polls and and asking questions. Hopefully you found this very valuable. We will send out a recording if you want to. You're welcome, Mike. We will send out a recording if you want to watch it again or share it with anybody. So look out for that. And thanks, Steve, for the compliment. Look out for that email. And if if you're ready to talk, reach out to your Park Place rep or go to the website and click on Get Started. And there's an easy form to fill out. All right. Thank you again, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.